do the community have capacity to collect, analyse and use local data?
Yes, it's true. There's a slogan that says, there's nothing that works for the community if it's not for the community.
Working with the communities, it's true that there are different levels, but I think one of the constants that we have at community level is you can tell when things are not okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the See It, Do It podcast series. See It means to see linked data, and do it means act on the data.
Let's make every contact count.
Core concepts in quality improvement.
Doing things differently.
Mentoring, support, supervision, and coaching.
Client perspective.
Data quality, digitization.
We are See It, Do It. Welcome to the See It, Do It podcast series. My name is Vicky Doyle. I'm the Quality Improvement Advisor to the See It, Do It programme. Today, we're going to be talking about doing things differently, and that's by using local data to improve quality. Today, I'm joined by two very special guests. I'm going to ask them both to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Vicky. My name is Lynette Okot. I work for LVCT and I support the intervention arm of See It, Do It.
And I'm Mandela Guche. I work for LVCT Health. I also work under the intervention side of See It, Do It study.
And so these are two experts who really get how you put quality improvement into action. We're not just talking about it, but it's doing it. And that's the thing which many people are challenged by. So, as normal, I'm going to start with the provocation. And my provocation today is it's very easy for people to stay in their comfort zone and to continue doing things same old, same old. And, how do we get people to move out of their comfort zone and to change their mindset so that they do things differently? Because if we carry on doing what we're doing now, nothing is going to improve. And so my first question, I remember when we first started doing this work at community level in Kenya, some of the national level government members were cynical, saying, well, you can't ask people in the community to analyse and collect local data and to use it. So Mandela, how do you respond to that? Do the community have capacity to collect, analyse and use local data?
Yes, it's true. There's a slogan that says, there's nothing that works for the community if it's not for the community. So it is very true that the community team can actually have local solutions to solve their issues at the community level. So it's very possible for community members, regardless their probably education level, where they work, to actually come up with QI interventions to solve their own problems.
Okay, thank you. So maybe I can make an addition and say that, and thanks for that question, because working with the communities, it's true that there are different levels, but I think one of the constants that we have at community level is you can tell when things are not okay. So then that means that at community level, then the teams, once they are supported to be able to see their data and make good use of it, then they're able to bring out the gaps and even look for solutions for it. So just allowing them to be able to go around, just navigate to identify the problems, then that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, one of the things I've seen in many countries is you work with some brilliant teams and they're working really well as a team. They've collected data and they're so excited about trying to implement things that they jump to premature solutions. And this is sometimes where we have to try and pull people slightly back. So how can we support those work improvement teams to actually go about doing a root cause analysis of their data? So that's what, when we're talking about that root cause analysis, is trying to drill down to what are the real root causes to the problems that they want to address. So how can we do that with the communities? I'll start with you, Lynette.
Yes, I think, and maybe just to say that even before I continue, is that when you're talking about root cause analysis, then it means that you must be able to identify what your true problem is. And identification of your true problem comes from being able to see them, being able to come up and know, where do you know, how do you identify where the problems are? And we are happy that we've been able in our projects to do it, to allow or to coach or to support the teams to be able to know, how do you identify where your problem is? Do you look at your ICHIS, Electronic Community Health Information System? Do you just go to a community baraza and just listen out? So various forms of how do you identify your problem. Then allowing them to be able to prioritize their problem. Because once they prioritize, then they're able to now develop a problem statement that makes sense. Then once they have a problem statement that makes sense, then now they can do root cause analysis. And our teams, or we've been able to coach the teams to be able to use various tools of doing root cause analysis. And what I just highlight to be able to take them through 5 whys, where they're able to go through 5 whys in anticipation that by the time they get to the 5th why, then they've gotten to the root cause. Or they're able to do fishbone. It's a slightly technical problem, a root tool, but the teams with coaching are able to classify and do a very clear fishbone that allows them to identify their root causes. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think Lynette has mentioned that bit in a very good way. What I can add is there's an engraved notion, I think, from initiation of probably community health, where there are certain problems that have to be solved in a certain way. So for us, is trying to encourage teams to do it a little bit different. I'll put it this way. Today, if you go to Muranga, or go to Kisumu, or go to Malindi and wake up as HP and say, what is your problem? They'll say, we don't do household visitation, we don't do other things. And then the chairs have formed a way in which they pass the problems to the community. So it's a known thing that these are predefined solutions to our problems. So for us, we look at it like, don't jump to that predefined problem, because probably you're jumping to something that doesn't solve the actual problem. So through root cause analysis, just like Lynette has mentioned, is we are able to pick what is actually the cause of the problem, and then you do it step by step to get to the actual problem without going to a predefined problem that we are given.
Okay. So it's very much supporting them to get to those real root causes and then getting them to address those root causes to come up with solutions, which leads me nicely into the next question is, we're trying to encourage them to do things differently and so not do the same old responses, which we know don't work. And we like to talk about innovation. So what do we mean when we talk about innovation? What does that mean in practice?
Wow, that's a good question. And it's also a little bit complicated when people look at it people look at innovation as tech problem. Innovation looks like technology, digitalization, and stuff like that. For us, innovation is those doing these simple things in a strategic way that can actually solve your own local solution. In relation to the little resources you have, the little experiences you have. So for me, that's what innovation is for me.
So it's coming up with those ideas, but ideas alone are not enough, isn't it? It's then putting those ideas into action, as you said, based on the community context.
True.
Because as we know, if you don't understand the context, you can't just come in with a pre-packaged set of solutions. They have to fit the local community. Yeah.
And fitting the local community means you're ideally looking at the low-hanging fruits. What is a simple thing that you can use to address many other problems?
Yeah, thank you. So maybe my last question then. So we've gone through all these steps. Now we've got the innovation, we've come up with a plan, and the communities are implementing those plans. How do we know if the change they wanted to make has actually worked?
Yeah, and maybe I'll take a first stab on that. How do we tell that whatever they're doing makes sense? I think we've empowered the communities to be able to analyze data and look at trends. One of the things that we've encouraged the teams is to look at trends over time and just see and be able to interpret what that trend means. And of course relate it to the indicators. Is it an indicator that should be increasing? Is it an indicator that should be reducing? So based on whatever is happening, if they see a plateau, what does this mean? So once they see the various trends and they're able to sit down as a work improvement team or at community level and just make good interpretation of those trends, that's how they're able to tell that actually whatever they're doing makes sense or doesn't make sense. Yeah.
And Mandela, sometimes when they come up with a good idea, it doesn't always work. But that's not a problem, is it?
You actually took my point. And thank you for that. Yeah. So I just wanted to add on that sometimes whatever steps we choose to take do not actually work. And for me, when you see it's not working, it's an opportunity for you to start afresh and look at it in a probably different angle and try and bring it up again. It doesn't necessarily have to work, and that's not a problem. That is just showing for me that you're doing something and then you're given an opportunity to try and do it again for it to actually work.
And actually bouncing back, being able to bounce back is one of those critical components of defining a mature work improvement team, because they should be able to say that this did not work and make a quick decision to change their strategy. So once they're able to do that, then they're not stuck with the old or non-performing strategy of improving their.
Absolutely. Because what we want is change, and change that works in the local level. That's all we're asking, really. Okay, so I think that brings us nicely then to summing up. So I'd like to now go back to you and say, what are the 3 key messages you would like to give to our podcast listeners today?
So I'll start, if you allow me. So it is very feasible for quality improvement to work at the community level.
Yeah, and also just to say that it is important to note that with coaching, the teams or the community teams are able to offer comprehensive or do a comprehensive root cause analysis.
Yeah, and innovations actually involves doing things differently, and we should not expect it to work every time. Sure. That's my
Okay. Thank you very much. And I hope this inspires our listeners as well to stop doing things the same old, to innovate and to do things differently. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let us do it now. No, no, no.